But this is what bothering me, that we have everything, but we keep borrowing. IMF and World Bank, it is actually the institution that has been dismantling and actually destroying the economy of Africa through debt. You know what I'm saying? Because if a lot of junk of money comes to your country, you could actually have inflation in the country. More than that, even if you develop your country, you still have debt to pay. When are you going to find that money? If you cannot find the money to develop your country, how are you going to find the money to pay the debt to IMF and World Bank? This is the journey to One Africa. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mika. Welcome back to SNOA. Guys, I would like to remind you, in order for you guys to stand with us, and if you want to support, you can actually pledge your commitment every single month here in Swahili Nation by joining membership. But you can also join Patreon or PayPal once in a while. But also you can use super chat, super stickers, and super things. There's also super things right now. Mr. Kiraga's on YouTube. Oh, yeah. You can actually just, like, if you just want to send the thanks, you can just be like, you can just send something there. Oh, yeah. And in that, it's helping us to actually to do what we do here in Swahili Nation. So do that. And I think it's going to be, incredible. How are you, Paul?
I'm really good. I thank God. How about you?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I know some of you really want to see Paul, but just hang in there for a second. There's a news coming up, and Kiragazo is gonna lead it for me, and we're gonna dive right into it. All right, let's get it.
Okay, Nigeria has said it is seeking up to $2.25 billion in the world backing loans. In a statement by French Minister Ware Edun. Speaking following the IMF or World Bank sparring meetings in Washington, D.C. at the weekend.
Wait, how much is that they're seeking?
They're seeking $2.25 billion.
$2.25 billion from IMF and World Bank.
Yeah.
2 point what?
$2.25 billion.
You hear the guys? You can write it down. $2.25 billion US dollar from IMF and World Bank. All right, keep going.
Speaking the following IMF or World Bank spring meeting in the Washington, D.C. at the weekend, Edun said the Nigerian government is also aiming to issue diaspora's bonds letters this year to attract foreign exchange into the country. The World Bank loans would comprise $1.5 billion in development policy financing and $750,000 million in program for research financing. The bank's borders is expected to meet in June to approve the request, Edun said. Nigeria has faced a foreign exchange shortage that pushed its naira currency to record lows versus the US dollars this year, though it has since rebounded. The country is also dealing with the record debt, high unemployment, and a large central bank financing, although the finance minister said recently the government had halved federal borrowing from the central bank. Yep.
Wow. All right, man. Guys, you've heard that news. I don't know if you came across that, but $2.25 billion loan from IMF and World Bank. And for development projects. The thing is, I don't know, have you guys heard about the book called Dambisa Moyo? I think she's from Zambia, and the book called Dead Aid. Paul, have you read that book?
No.
Dead Aid. I read that book, and basically it's talking about AIDS in Africa, and why she's calling it Dead Aid, because this is the form of support that is not really support, you know what I'm saying? But it's a dead aid. It means it comes in a forms of aid, but in reality, it's not really aid. So when you're using aid to develop your country, you're actually not really developing your country. Because what happened is, it's kind of like you are borrowing money somewhere to build your house. And what happens when you fail to pay for that money? that means that house is not really yours, or you have another asset that you put on the, on somewhere, so they can take anything they want. So in the case of Africa, what is very surprising me in our country is that we already have a huge chunk of debt in our countries, but we still keep on borrowing the money. So my question is this: why developing your country if you don't have money to develop the country? Why bothering borrowing money from somewhere to develop your country while you still have a huge chunk of debt? You don't even know when you're going to pay that. Your country basically is sold because like that, the value of your money keep decreasing, depreciated day after day. You don't know when are you going to pay that money. You're still borrowing extra money to develop your country. This is why they look down on Africa, because we cannot even manage to develop ourselves. So look at Nigeria, man. Like in the continent,
yes,
Nigeria, it is actually the first country economically stable.
Yeah.
And I just shared the list like the other day on my 15 countries. Okay, can you check that? The story from my WhatsApp. 15 countries in Africa, top 15 countries that are economically stable. They've shown, and Nigeria is the first one, and has been in that position for a very long time. Did you see that post?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you just read those countries for me.
But last time we shared even the news talking about the richest countries in Africa.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Can you read that?
Yeah, in Nigeria, it's the first one.
Okay.
And here it's saying that as Nigeria is the most popular country in Africa. Nigeria has diverse economy, particularly in the oil and gas sectors.
Yeah.
So this shows that oil and gas is the only thing that's ready for Nigeria to be the most the first richest country in Africa.
Okay, other countries as well. Can you read all of them?
So another country is South Africa. South Africa has diverse economy with the sectors such as mining, agriculture, and services. And the third one is Egypt. Egypt has diverse economy with the sectors such as tourism, oil and gas, and agriculture.
Okay.
And the other one is Algeria. Algeria has significant oil and natural gas reserves, which contribute significantly to its economy.
Other countries?
And the other countries, Morocco has diverse economy with the sectors such as tourism, agriculture, industry, and services.
Okay.
Another one is Angola. Oil and natural resources play a key role in Angola's economy. And the other one is Kenya. It's a regional economy sectors with diverse economy, including the services sectors, agriculture and tourism.
Okay.
And the other one is Ghana. Ghana economy is supported by sectors such as agriculture, oil and gas and services. And the other one is Tanzania. Agriculture, tourism, natural resources contributed to Tanzania's economy.
That's top 10, right?
So the last one, the 10 one, is Ethiopia. Is experiencing rapid economic growth with the sectors including agriculture, manufacturing, and infrastructure.
And the title says the richest countries in Africa.
Yes.
All right. So as you can see that, guys, Nigeria is number one. But the thing is, because of the oil and, the minerals, the thing is, if you're the richest country in Africa, that means you should be the role model of the entire continent. Yes. And we know here that the richest, I think they're talking about the current numbers when it comes to economic, but when it comes to natural resources and everything, we all know that, what's that country? Congo is one of the richest countries in Africa. But this is what bothering me, that we have everything, but we keep borrowing. IMF and World Bank, it is actually the institution that has been dismantling and actually destroying the economy of Africa through debt. You know what I'm saying? Because if a lot of junk of money comes to your country, you could actually have inflation in the country. More than that, even if you develop your country, you still have debt to pay. When are you going to find that money? If you cannot find the money to develop your country, how are you going to find the money to pay the debt to IMF and World Bank? And that's why, as the result, you have these crazy conditions that you have to give something in order for you to get those loans and those aids. So in 2024, we cannot keep taking these loans to develop our countries. We are supposed to develop ourselves. We have all the natural resources in the country. Why can't we use them? Why can we channel the ways? Look at the West Africa, what they're doing. Nigeria is West Africa, but look at Niger, what they're doing. Look at Mali, how they're doing. Look at, Burkina Faso, what they're doing. They're actually trying to be independent, to develop their countries by themselves. Nigeria could do that and could still live because they need your oil, they need your resources, they need this economy. This is one of the biggest economies in Africa. Yet we keep borrowing, 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 and borrowing. If Nigeria is doing that, what about the 54th country there economically in Africa? And that is the game with Africa. Africa does not need money. Until when are we going to say that? Africa does not need money. Africa needs system. Africa needs accountability. Africa needs responsibility. People who are responsible, who are going to work for this continent and transform this continent for the betterment of our people. That's what Africa needs. Africa needs stable leadership, not money. Even myself, man, I would not want you to give money. Show me the ways to invest. Show me the way to do something. Show me the way to create a wealth, generational wealth that is not just going to benefit me, but is going to benefit the next generation as well. Guys, I don't know, man. Paul, do you have anything to add on that?
Actually, here it says that Nigeria is a country in West Africa. So this is the source, like the local source within Africa.
Yeah.
So there is a source that says about the richest country in Africa, which is in Africa, and another source is the World Bank. So this one says Nigeria is a country in West Africa which stands out as the most powerful economy on the continent, with a GDP estimated at US dollar 4077 US billions. In this was in 2022. But it still maintains up to 2024. Nigeria is the top of the ranking of the richest African countries, ahead of the Egypt and South Africa.
You know, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. The only issue is that even these numbers that they give, most of these companies and most of these, resources are being owned by somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, the resources of Africa is benefiting other countries than our own, continent. And that's what happened in most of the countries. And I don't know when are we going to wake up. That's why we keep, reminding our people that we need one Africa. We need a united Africa, because that is the only way for us to share this stuff and start using our own resources for our people and for our countries, developing actually our country. Africa has to be first developed, before we start, doing anything with anybody there. But we keep borrowing, we keep asking as if we're the poorest countries, but most of these countries are actually richer than most of the countries in Europe and United States. When are we going to wake up? So guys, please let me know in the comment section. Let us know in the comment section. What do you think about this? But I really believe it's the time to wake up. Otherwise, we're going to keep, coming here and, talking about how you're suffering, how you're struggling. While our people, every single African should be a millionaire, not in our local money, in actually US dollar. When you talk about the richness we have in the continent. So anyway, whoever was here to listen, please hear these words we're talking today. I appreciate, guys. Talk to you very soon.